Canada is entering a recession and will soon bleed another 100,000 jobs. The question isn't, are you worried? The question is, are you prepared? Ladies and gents, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, my name's Clyde. Welcome and subscribe. The button is down there. Make sure you hit the like on your way in. Now, before we get into the show, let's talk about how you can protect the wealth that you do have as the government is, using their fiat currency. You could get yourself some real money. And real money, I mean by gold, silver, precious metals, things like that. New World Precious Metals will help you out. Go check out that. If you want, get a little screen grab right here. You can use that QR code and get yourself over there and start protecting your wealth because they are looking to take it away from you. Now, how are we moving forward in this? Well, here's Toronto's Mayor, Cracky Chan, aka Olivia Chow. She's excited to announce that they'll soon be storing Canadian seniors in sea cans. Yeah, yay, elbows up. This is literally what's happening right now.
This is exciting because I'm in front of a construction site. It's home to 55 seniors. They're going to move in early spring next year. We're building it, and Queen Community Center, a very well-known, very good social service agency, is going to come and operate it. These seniors that are going to be here will get comprehensive support, whether they need mental health or any other kind of services. So
yeah, they're freaking sea cans. I'm sorry, but I know people make really cool looking sea can houses. These aren't that. They're just sea cans outfitted with a window down near the bottom and perhaps a door on the other side. Yay, great one. I'm sure that was worth all of that money that you've spent into the Canadian pension plan for your entire life. Anyway, let's get into this. The Globe and Mail is reporting Canada is entering a recession and will soon bleed another 100,000 jobs. Yes, this is coming out more and more. The economists are telling us exactly what's been going on, and a lot of the blame is being laid on the tariffs. I think that's nonsense. I mean, tariffs are not good at all. I mean, ask other countries that we put tariffs on for years. They'll say that they weren't good. But Canada is now suffering at the tariffs of the United States. Well, consumers are largely suffering at the tariffs that Canada's put on the products, but that's another story altogether. Now, this economist that was asked all these questions, it was asked, if your tariff predictions are correct, what impact might they have on the Canadian economy? And straight up came down to this: we're very worried that we're going to be in a formal recession in the second and third quarters, and we'll see perhaps another 100,000 jobs lost. Now, it's funny because they say a formal recession, because we've been in informal recession because for over a year now, because real GDP growth per capita is down. It's down, and it has been down. It's been negative growth for quarter after quarter after quarter for some time, but that's not formal. We've already had 70,000 lost jobs in the private sector in 2 months. Point that out, private sector, because realistically, all the growth that we've had in Canada over the past several years has been in the public sector. That's not good. Those are expenses. Those aren't, you can't include that in the GDP, yet they do. So the concern for Canada is that negative sentiment has directly correlated to the hard data. So sentiment is manifesting quickly in the outcomes. In the US, you see very negative sentiment, but in the economy is holding up quite reasonably, because this is Trump derangement syndrome. People are just freaking out about the guy in charge. But look, the economy is actually doing well down south. And in Canada, it's not the case. The housing market is a good example. The housing market has always been Canada's go-to when we want to stroke growth. You would not just get the sales bump that you would lead to purchases of household furnishings and other things in the rental sector. It would lead to renovation activity. So you would get this 1, 2, 3 economic push. We're getting none of those drivers. No, we're getting none of those drivers because it is really a false economy. because that's where we're at. Housing represents nearly 40% of Canada's GDP. That's where we find out that we're in real trouble. A consumable like a house, is now 40% of Canada's GDP. Not manufacturing, not oil and gas are no longer the highest things, which you would assume are. That's actually not the case. In the article here, it says from 2017 to 2021, the investment in dwellings as a percentage of total gross fixed capital formation was north of 40%, larger than in any of the G7 nations. This past summer, Statistics Canada reported that the housing market contributed to more to the gross domestic product, totaling approximately $267 billion and expanding nearly 3% from July 2022 to July 2023. That's insane when you factor in what the other things that contributed to the GDP are. Oil and gas at $160 billion, manufacturing at $193 billion, finance and insurance at 151. So you're telling me that oil and gas is only half of what is real estate in Canada? Are you absolutely kidding me? We're talking about export products, the things that we export to other nations or consume ourselves. Homes. The house you live in contributes to more than half of GDP. This is what they get at. There's for households, for more of their wealth is tied up to residential properties. In September 2022, an Ipsos poll found that 77% of Canadians say that more of their wealth is associated with homeownership, be it detached houses or condominiums. There is a generational divide ranging from 68% for seniors and 89% of the wealth of young adults of Generation Z. That is insane. Gen Z has 90% of their wealth tied up in real estate. That can't be sustainable. It absolutely can't be. Now, of course, Better Dwelling reporting on this, Canadian mortgage rates set to rise as yields soar inflation data. That can't be good. They can't be good at all. It seems that the fundamentals of the economy are not very good, and that those rate hikes of 18 months ago are about to hit the actual market. Any realtor or any person in mortgage financing would tell you, yeah, the prime rates, they take about 18 to 24 months before they actually hit the market. Inflation is also slipping out of the Bank of Canada's control. Canada bond yields are suddenly heading higher based on inflation expectations. Most people heard that inflation fell yesterday in response to the government of Canada dropping the consumer carbon tax. But that was only the headline data. The Bank of Canada preferred CPI core measures of inflation, which eliminate volatile and temporary influences, which they said, we've all heard this, that the inflationary possibility of the carbon tax was temporary, and to alleviate it would only be temporary. The long-term effects will still take place. So they've eliminated those temporary influences, and they actually accelerated last month. Both the central bank's key CPI core metrics are now above its inflation tolerance range. Ironically, the Bank of Canada rush to cut rates quickly may have been counterproductive. Well, we'll see what happens. But as inflation goes up and we also are running into a stagnant economy, a lot of people are not able to go out and buy really expensive homes. And because of this, the prices have to come down, and the prices have been coming down for people. So if you thought that tying your wealth into real estate was going to get you, do you well in your retirement, well, look at this. Ontario real estate on the express train down. It doesn't matter if you're in Toronto, Ottawa, Cambridge, or Niagara. Ontario real estates are going down, and going down fast. We're seeing $400K losses on homes, a $400,000 loss on a home. That's just the loss of equity, perceived equity that they thought they had, or an actual loss on the purchase price. So paid this much for it. lost $400,000 in selling it, losing $310,000, losing $400,000 in this other neighborhood. This is where we're going with Canada. But I really want to just encourage people, perhaps try to protect your wealth. This is the best way to do it. Get on out there and take what wealth you do have, perhaps a portion of your savings, and put it into precious metals. This is the kind of thing that has been a hedge for inflation and government measures for a very long time. Again, pause the screen and get a screen cap. You follow that QR code. It'll help you out a ton. But in the meantime, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. You know, everybody put their elbows up, and that's where the Canadian populace wanted to go with this one. We have another liberal government, which is largely the same government. You just don't have the pretty man with the fancy hair. Just got the old guy with the the old guy. Mark Carney is in charge. Same people, same economic policies. This is going to be more of the same. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to protect your wealth? And what are you going to do to prepare for what's coming? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.